The truth about the Peter Thiel Roth IRA. Hey everyone, Adam Bergman, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. So I'm here to tell you the truth about the Peter Thiel Roth IRA. So you probably have heard that Peter Thiel, who's a successful private equity investor, somehow turned a few $1,000s into several $billion because of his investments into PayPal, Facebook, and Palantir. And I'm not going to sit here and try to politicize whether it's right, whether it's wrong, how much is too much in a retirement account. That's for the politicians to deal with. My concern and my goal is to show what the reality is, what the truth is, but how an average person like me or you could take a Roth IRA and maybe not get to $1 billion, but get to $1 million plus by simply doing, whether it's startup investments, real estate investments, or just a variety of investments, and have a very, very successful and very productive retirement portfolio. So let's start. What's the reality? The reality is, believe it or not, there's less than 500 people in the whole country that have more than $25 million in a Roth IRA. So Peter Thiel, the ProPublica article that came out in June 2021, talked about his $5 billion Roth IRA. That is the exception. Trust me. There's not many people walking around with even $50 million in a Roth IRA. There's less than 500 with over 25 million. There's about 25,000 Americans that have 5 million plus in a Roth IRA. So again, it's not my position whether it's good or bad. Is that too much? Is that too little? Is it fair? That's just the facts as per the ProPublica article. Okay, so about 25,000 people have 5 million or more in a Roth IRA. So how did people do that? How do you get to 5 million plus in a Roth IRA? It's based off two principles: deferral and compounded returns. So let me give you a few examples. And again, I'm not even talking about what investments are being done. I'm just giving you facts and figures to show you that what Peter Thiel did is not possible, right? We're not going to take thousands and turn them to billions. That just doesn't happen. And the fact that the politicians are focusing on Peter Thiel, I'm not sure about that. That's politicizing the issue. Let's focus on what we can do to generate real important retirement wealth for our families. So here are a couple examples. Let's say you start at 25 and you contribute $2,500 a year from 25 to 72. Pretty conservative, right? I'm not even assuming that you're going to increase that as you get older and make more money. 8% rate of return annually, let's assume, you'll have $1.2 million. Not $5 billion, but $1 million's $1 million. That's real. And if it's in a Roth IRA, it's tax-free. Good stuff. 8% is possible. That doesn't mean you have to invent the next Facebook or the next PayPal. That means you can do stocks or real estate or different stuff. Okay, how about this? Start at 30, 5,000 a year to 72, 10% rate of return, 1.7 million. Okay, so I'm showing you here what Peter Thiel did to get from a few thousand by investing in PayPal and Facebook and Palantir. That's probably not going to happen for us, right? We're just not able to make those types of investments. He got super lucky. I've seen many clients invest in startup and just never materializes, right? Either the deals don't happen, they don't make money, or they fail. He got super lucky, and I really don't even want to focus on Peter Thiel because it's such an extreme case. I really want to focus on these two examples to show you that, hey, you can make and generate real retirement wealth for you and your family by doing three things, right? Number one, being consistent. Make annual contributions to your Roth or traditional IRA. Doesn't have to be $5,000. It can be even $2,500. Do it consistently. And then trust the process. Invest it, whether you're doing stocks or real estate or startups or Bitcoin. Invest in what you feel comfortable with and trust the process because it's going to work. The numbers don't lie. Okay, so the reality is you and me are probably not going to have $25 million in our Roth IRA, but that's okay. You can still have $1 million plus when you're in your 70s, even with the time value of money. In 30, 40 years, maybe $1 million isn't $1 million today. It's still money and it's still tax-free, and you're still going to be able to use it to go on vacation, buy your kids a home, whatever you need to do and use that money for. it will be there. Okay, so the Peter Thiel, again, just shows you at the extreme level what you can do with the powers of compounding returns, right? What's compounding returns? Your money doubles every 8 years, assuming you get an 8% rate of return. Albert Einstein coined that the eighth wonder of the world. It works. And that's the whole value of the retirement system. So I'm more focused about saving, trusting the process, and being consistent. I'm less focused on the actual investment. So a lot of people have taken the Peter Thiel example and said, hey, this is abusive. Look, how could someone get $1 billion plus in their retirement account? That is crazy. I like to look at it and say, listen, let's use the principles Peter Thiel did, and let's try to generate 6 or 7 figures, whether it's $500,000 or $1 million. That is realistic. We all can do that. Forget about the 3 billion, the 5 billion. That's not realistic. That's not going to happen. But to take the principles, not of what Peter Thiel did, the principles of compounding returns, the foundation of the Roth IRA, and use that to help us generate real important retirement wealth for all of us. That is possible, whether you're doing stocks, whether you're doing real estate, whether you're investing in startups, Bitcoin, gold. Diversification is important. And again, if you do those 3 things, start early, be consistent, and trust the process, you too can have real retirement wealth at retirement.